of ODM, it sounds almost like a carcass from what you've said. And is this party, which has been in existence for 20 years as of last year, heralded by Raila Odinga, and then at his demise, it all kind of falls apart? Is it really dead, or is it in the place where it's, in the locker room and trying to, get the final last push to come back together?
ODM is generally, to be frank, ODM is dead. There's no more ODM except in name. A lot of people make the mistake that they think the party is the name. The party are the values you carry, the aspirations, the agenda, the work plans, the manifesto, and all those. ODM has betrayed all those. And this has been long coming. The ODM that we started in 2005 and the ODM of the last 10 years has been very different. And I used to have these conversations with Baba. Sometimes I used to ask him, where did you get these guys from? Mm-hmm. And many around Baba were working against Baba. There were many people around Baba in ODM, very senior and very loud and very close to him, but who are agents of the state or agents of other political interests. As a matter of fact, one of them now is planning to join the cabinet. Yeah, there's one who's been around there for a long time. He's negotiating to join the cabinet.
Before 2027?
Yes. They are pitching.
Okay.
What they want to do. They are saying the only way to revive ODM is to make Oparanya the deputy president. Yeah, so another MP who has also been an agent of the state, who has been working very hard to even enable the cartels of government take over the sugar mills, is supposed to be made a minister, and another one from Luo Nyanza, who is also supposed to join the government. That's what they are planning.
And what
but
would
ODM
that do?
is dead. And the reason why ODM is dead, the leader of ODM, the de facto leader of ODM today, is William Ruto. He gives them instructions, he tells them what to do. They answer to him through Farouk. So a lot of members don't know this. Yeah, there's no ODM. There's no ODM in Western Kenya, in Coast, in Nairobi. There's no ODM. ODM is now just appearing, making little appearances in some parts of Nyanza. And soon Linda Mwananchi will be in Homa Bay. Yeah. You will see for yourself. And I want to ask the people of Homa Bay to get ready. We are coming there for 2 days. We will be in Homa Bay County for 2 days. We want to deal with this question. And I want to ask the ODM people and the Governor Wanga and an MCA there called Ogindo and Kaluma not to try and organize youths to disrupt us. Yeah, we are coming to Homa Bay.
You say that as though that would be the plan and that would be something that they would do.
They will try to do it. We are just putting them in notice. Don't try. Yes, we will come. And the people want us to go there, and we are going there for 2 days.
Yeah.
We will do a tour of Homa Bay for 2 days.
Does that make you sad, Caroli? Because just before you go to Homa Bay and what will happen there, because being an instrumental force behind ODM silently for many years, or maybe very loud but not in the public, as yourself, as Caroli, and then seeing this from what you see as things having fallen apart, what does that do for you as an individual?
You've asked a very good question, very personal to me. Actually, I always felt very bad when I saw ODM lose its track, lose the good members that we used to have, get away from the mission we had. And as Baba got older and all these bad characters got around him and hijacked ODM, it was very difficult. Me, I told Baba that I can't be here. I left ODM.
Yes, you did.
I kept going in and out. And even 2022, I remember we had to sit down with Baba for several hours. It was very personal to me. Yeah, but we lost it. But I got the inspiration from the poem. If you can see the things you've built, destroyed, and get it within you, assign you to start afresh. So we decided long time ago, and Babu Owino tells me the same thing. He felt very bad. And Orengo. And not just those people. Sarah Elderkin, who worked with Baba for so long in England, I normally have good conversations with her. Professor Akongo Yugi. There are people who have been with Baba in this ODM from when I was in Nyandarua. I met some people there. They've been with him all along. And they're very disappointed. So many people are heartbroken because people came to ODM to make money. Yeah. So there were, that was the main activity. Baba was an enterprise to so many people. And I know, but that's why I keep telling them, let's find solace, not in the name. Let's forget about the name ODM. Let's just build something new. We carry Baba's dreams, we carry Baba's vision there, and we move. That is how we can comfort ourselves.
Because it's all about the ideology. And I want to look at appointments that we see happening left, right, center. So we have the appointment of individuals in the Luo Nyanza, like you say, that is to appear as if the Luo community have received are now in government. That also comes with the experts who were there. But if you look at what is happening in government today, based off even the headline that we carried, the Kindiki story that is now hitting the headlines, and you see now transfer of what then would have been seen to be a critical part of government, where then counties and national government working together, that being the sole purpose of the deputy president, now has been transferred to the prime cabinet secretary. And that is seen as many now in the political circles are saying this is meant to woo the Western vote, and looking at also Oparanya being given allegedly position of deputy president. And one asks the question, all these appointments that happen, have the people, Kenyans, come to realize that individuals who are appointed are there to serve them and to deliver, that when they fail to deliver, they are not worth to be there, that positions cannot be doled to a community to get the vote, yet there is no deliverables or delivery that comes with these positions, not only for the community, but for the country.
You see, I once said here that most of those so-called experts are in office but not in power. One of them actually called me and thanked me. He said, once you made that statement, I was allowed to do one or two things. Some got very annoyed. They thought I was abusing them. I was actually helping them. You see, I've always told my Luo brothers, don't be fooled. They tell you we brought you development. They are launching so many roads in Luo land. Oh, we've launched Calamity Road. Oh, we've launched this. Oh, this will be 1.2 billion. But if you look at the budget, there's only 100 million allocated. Meaning, ni bahati nasibu tu. Yeah? Forget about that. I gave them an example that of all the projects in Luo land under the so-called broad-based, when aggregated, is under 50 billion. Yet there's a new referral hospital being built in Eldoret for over 50 billion. The development that was taken to Olkalau alone, electricity, roads, water, was 13 billion. And the people there were not swayed. This idea that a Luo has been appointed here or there, that we are now in power, is just illusion. What has this government done to Luos? They've taken all the sugar mills and privatized them to themselves. A senator has taken over Muhoroni Sugar. A senior civil servant has taken over Chemelil Sugar. These are facts. They've brought an Indian and they've given him Sony Sugar. And what have they done? They've stripped off the assets. They are now auctioning the assets of Chemelil, of Sony.
But the president has said, most recently even after you spoke with us here, that the sugar reforms have taken off in the country, and that for the first time in a very long time, sugar farmers who then, sell their cane are getting profits, and there's a boom. Suna East Member of Parliament said the same thing, who you may have referred to earlier, but how is this different from what they've said?
Junet has no idea what happens in this country. When the president was last in Kisumu, he had even suggested that the president goes to Chemelil to meet the farmers. NIS told the president, you'll be lynched if you go there. Because the farmers, the price of cane per ton has dropped.
Yes.
People are not being paid. Workers have been chased out of residences. They've not gotten their pensions. The compensation that was promised has not been given. Busia Sugar yesterday, the stores are flooded with sugar, locally produced. People are saying in Busia, they want to cut the cane and go back to growing maize. So what they are telling you and what the reality on the ground is wrong. They have tried to steal 10,000 acres of Miwani land, where we want to do free economic zone for the people of Western and Nyanza and parts of Rift Valley, the counties around there. That is, without that land, there's no purpose of taking SGR to Kisumu. To do what? To transport what? We must do a free economic zone. I've been fighting this. They've tried to steal that land. The courts have decided it is public land. They've taken GSU there. They've put somebody there growing cane by force. You know, the Luos are smarter than that. And I can tell you, if you saw the latest polling, Linda Mwananchi with one rally in Kisumu are 58% in Luoland. Once we do Homa Bay and Migori, we will be 85. President Ruto is wasting his time and money. Yeah. Even these things they are trying to do to Professor Kindiki, that they're now making Musalia's office a big center of power. The other day, Musalia's office did not even have money for fuel.
Indeed.
They did not have. So what is it now that suddenly it is so important that his duties are being transferred from Professor Kindiki to Musalia? And let me tell you, those things will not sway the people of Western Kenya.
Because you're thinking that
because
that is
they don't
so
remember
that they
history.
Have...
The people of Western Kenya, the same friend of mine, Musalia, was made deputy president by Moi. In 1990, when was it? 2002? Yes.
Just before
2002.
Yes.
Yeah. He lost. Awori lost as a vice president. Those things will not sway the people of West Mulembe. They don't give a damn about those things.
So you're saying that this move that we've seen, these powers, as it says, removed from the office of Kithure Kindiki and placed under Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi is a ploy to move the people of the Mulembe nation?
Yes, to say, oh, your man now is like the effective prime minister. Yeah.
And so that would bring in the votes. But you're saying that we can see through this.
How does that benefit a common man in Sabatia, whether Musalia has power?
You see, Caroli...
We have a minister for finance in Suba. Yeah?
How is it?
Apart from doing arambes and doing small things they call empowerment for women, I already had a 10 million merry-go-round table banking for the women. But every weekend, I told you there's 5 million. Kimani Chungwa comes there. Aaron Cheruyot comes there. Kindiki himself has been there. They do the fundraiser. They share the money with the women. The women end up with 1,947 shillings after the hype. And they tell me, I tell them, keep eating. I've opened a granary for you. It is because of me that these things are coming. Kuleni kabisa. Yes. But they know. And when we go to Suba with Linda Mwananchi, you'll see the crowds and the statements that will be made. You'll see.
Caroli, positions that have been entrusted to the political class is donated. At the end of the day, all Mwananchi cares about is delivery. I've given you this because I wanted this from you. It's give and take. It's give and take. But then it has been looked as if once someone gets to power, you forget about the people who put you there. That contract gets lost. As Wananchi now seemingly are open and understand way better what servitude is, what their leaders should do to them. As we get to the 2027 elections, things will be done differently because agenda is being set by Wananchi, the demands are being set by Wananchi. How does Linda Mwananchi then turn that, and that being the fuel that pushes you forward, knowing very well that Mwananchi funded us, Mwananchi has set the agenda, that by the time you get there, the contract is with Mwananchi and not political parties. Because for a very long time, political parties through PGM, Parliamentary Group meetings, are whipped to even make decisions against Mwananchi. How do we change that? How is Linda Mwananchi together with the United Opposition looking to canvass that so that it is service to the people? Because the people will tell you whether you've worked or not.
Very good question. You see, at our level, we are trying to look for good candidates. We actually have another nickname in Linda Mwananchi. They call him the Chief Coalition Builder. So, you see, like Faith Odhiambo.
Yes.
I had a focus group with young people, and I asked them, we were with a friend of mine called Patrick Ochua. He's a lawyer. We had a focus group with young people, and we asked them, give us some names of women leaders you think should be in Linda Mwananchi. And her name came up. So I reached out, I talked to her, and we had several meetings, and she came. And we have other people we are looking out for. We are talking to them. Others, are waiting to see, will this thing gain traction? You know, guys, when they don't
have joined.
Yes. Yeah. So, to answer you, we are making a deliberate effort to get good leaders. But we are encouraging good leaders and young people to come forward. Politics is a very strange game. Conmen thrive very well around political processes because they have no shame. And that became the problem of ODM. Once something becomes popular, every joker jumps in. You just find them on the stage there. You find them doing all sorts of things, and they're active, and they crowd out the good people. But we want to deliberately look for good people to be leaders. But we can't elect them because the vote is with Raya. So we want to ask the people, please elect good people. Don't elect somebody because of money. Yeah? Don't elect. First, rule number one, I'm not insisting everybody must have education. But if you want somebody to go and audit accounts or read financial statements or to make law, surely they must be literate.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Did you know in Migori County,
Hey,
Migori
that's my
County,
county.
your county, of the 6 elected MPs, only one is a graduate? Did you know that? And these are the Luos who claim that they're educated.
The one that has a degree is Nyamita.
Only, I don't even want to mention, but you've mentioned only Nyamita has a degree. The other ones, if they tell you they have a degree in Ile welding,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The entire county, and you look at it and you ask yourself, hey, what happened here? So if you bring people who do not understand what leadership is all about, then you will end up with this same problem. So give us good leaders. You know, political parties, yes, there's capture of parliament by the executive, but also capture of parliament by political parties.
Yeah.
And I've spoken about it several times. The reason why MPs are captured easily is because they don't have the intellectual stamina to interrogate issues. And that is why a lot of political parties also don't like smart people, because they'll question things.
Please repeat that again.
Yes?
Repeat that again.
Most members of parliament don't have the intellectual stamina to interrogate issues. That is the problem. That is why MPs have become sanguenas. They get bribed. I'm telling you, every week they are given 500,000 to go and run around doing empowerment, because they don't have the intellectual stamina. Yes, you must know what it is. You must question things. Yeah, and when you have somebody who is questioning things in good spirit, that is the right person to have. Yeah, that is the person who will bring the change you want. So we will do our best as Linda Mwananchi to profile good leaders, but we can't elect them. The people have to elect them for us. Yes, and we can only work with those who have come forward. So good leaders, please come forward. Don't be shy, don't be scared, just come out. Kenyans want change, and they'll see you and support you.
You talk about the capture of parliament. Is it possible that there are good leaders in the current parliament, in this 13th parliament, good leaders, but have been stifled by that same capture?
Yes.
Because some would argue that if you were good, that regardless of what the situation would be, short of being killed, that you would then be able to speak out and continue to speak out for such. Are there good leaders that are being stifled today? And then how then, in the future, how do you stop that from being? Because human beings are human beings.
Yes.
There's the fear that, and it's a resident fear amongst many, that it's no different, that somebody will get into the position of power and plus ça change, plus c'est la même chose. It'll be, how do you then make sure that that doesn't happen again?
You see, I'll be fairly straightforward here. Political parties have stifled a lot of members of parliament.
Yeah.
Yes, because they threaten you. You see, take me as an example. When I got into parliament, I was not allocated any committee by ODM. They didn't allocate me any committee, but standing orders say I must belong to one. And because I'd put somewhere there's a form you fill, the sporting activities you like. I like jogging. I was thrown into the sports committee by the speaker's panel. Then somehow strange events occurred. They reconstituted committees at some point, and I found myself in the Constitutional Implementation Committee. And members elected me chairman. And that committee was supposed to be led by UDA. And I served, and as soon as they saw the committee revived, we got good programs with IEBC, we got with other constitutional officers, TSC. We are the ones who engaged the police to unlock the recruitment and all those things. They said, no, that committee now is getting profile. It was again disbanded. They made the changes. They didn't say they sacked me.
Yeah.
They just made sure the new list did not have my name anywhere. But I'm still surviving. But a lot of MPs, that threat that they'll be removed in a committee makes them toe the line. Yes. We have very many good MPs, let me tell you, in that house. Very many. You'll be shocked. There are very quality MPs from Northeastern who are just quiet. They're just surviving. Yes. But when you talk to them, I mean, other than Yusuf of Kamkunji, a very solid man, you know, there's Sane. There are very many good quality MPs in there. When you talk to them, you see, but they're just quiet. They're just monitoring what is going on. Because why take the risk? Let me serve my members. I go on. Even in Nyanza, there are people you know who should be very active. Yes, where is Otienda Molo? He should be with us. What is he doing the other side? I ask him all the time, my friend, what are you doing there? They've made him vice chairman of the party or legal advisor. So I ask him sometimes, my friend, because your heart is not there. Millie Odhiambo's heart is not there. Yeah, we know that, but they made a deputy whip or something, so she has to hang around there.
As a political party, how do we drill or how do we ensure that members of parliament, MCAs, realize the power that they do have? Why do I bring that? Because it is the very same house. These members of parliament, you say that they are good, but they fear they have to toe the line. They are the very same people who approve budgets that go even to the office of the president. They are the people that the president depends on for his laws to go through. They are the ones who appropriate budgets, to allocate budgets to go to different sectors in the country. They are the ones who even have the power to summon the president or institute impeachment proceedings against them. You know, the power that members of parliament have, the powers that MCAs do have at the counties is immense. As a party, how do we push that to members of parliament to realize the power that they do have and that they don't have to beg anybody because they have the power?
That's why I was telling you, first elect educated people. You see, most of them don't understand their role as members of parliament. They don't understand it. And they don't understand that in that house, first, I've said this many times, in Kenya, we don't elect political parties. In Kenya, we elect individuals. When you go to the ballot, it is your name that is on that ballot with a sign of your party, meaning you have agreed to associate with some people. But the election is personal to you. They don't understand these constitutional principles, you know. In South Africa, they elect parties. It is the ANC that is elected.
Yes.
So once ANC is elected, the parliamentary seats are shared according to the percentage of votes that the party has got. So in England, in the Commonwealth, in the UK, you've seen MPs disagree with their political parties, take a different course, and move. There's no by-election. Because the mandate is personal to you. There's no by-election. In the UK, today, there are MPs who are elected in Labour who are with Reform. There are no by-elections. You choose. You can choose to resign, like Nigel Farage chose to resign and go for a fresh by-election. In Australia, if you disagree with your party, they put you in some place called the crossbench. But your voice is not stifled. It is made as if the political party is some church, that you cannot disagree with some decrees. You know, but the MPs don't understand it. They don't understand it. And sometimes I get very surprised when I see when ministers come to parliament, MPs rush to plead there. Oh, this, can you help me with this? For heaven's sake, that's not how to relate with a minister. But the answer to that question is elect educated people, have competent people. Then that problem will be solved. But if you have people who don't even understand how the constitution works, they become praise singers, sloganeers, because that's the easy thing to do in politics. You just go shouting slogans and praise singing and be part of the voting machine. Then you say every time you tell the boss, I'm loyal. I'm loyal. Then, but you are contributing nothing.
I can't remember the phrase Dennis was trying to remember. It's in Kiswahili when you talk about the burning of a newspaper happening really quickly. Moto ya karatasi, I think, is what is being said, and is what is being ascribed to Linda Mwananchi in terms of sustainability of this euphoric moment, but beyond that, the seeds that you talk about being sown. Now, we then enter into what we saw happening in Olkalau, and it seems to be now the blueprint that will be people within the law guarded their vote. That they were 400 meters from polling stations, as is ascribed by the Elections Act, that they had to do that. But they said, we are watching every move that you make. We are watching everything that you do. But these were people who decided that they were going to live out their constitutionalism by fear and trembling on that particular day. And that what it needs is that we say that should happen, but we understand the space in which Kenya currently operates. Is there sustainability? And I know you still talk about, registering a political party, having people in place who are on one-minded agenda. How will it work to ensure that within this political space within which you operate, that can be sustained, guarding the vote, holding the IEBC to account? How will that work?
Americans said eternal vigilance is a price you pay for liberty and democracy. What they did in Olkalau shows you what Kenyans want. In other jurisdictions, if you go to Canada or even Australia, a ballot box is even placed near a bus stop on voting day. And the person in charge of it is probably a retired teacher as a volunteer. And people trust the process. Here, if you tried that, the goons that will try to stuff it up and all the nonsense that we are used to.
Yeah.
You see, that's why I was talking about values. Yeah, if we have good values, people will trust the process. They will go vote and they know their vote will count. But because we don't trust the process, the people of Olkalau showed us you have to be vigilant. And what they did, I think, is going to be repeated everywhere because we don't trust the system. Today, even here, in the WhatsApp group of members of Parliament, I'm seeing some MPs saying, whatever happens, we will rig, we will steal the vote. So when you keep saying that, you are not building trust. Yeah? People will have to go out and guard their vote. But on IEBC, I think they are a bit, they are running out of time now. I've not seen the tenders for technology package, and we are already almost in August.
It's a little late, no?
It's getting late. So I think those things should come out very quickly. Because that technology, you see the law, we have a mixture of manual and electronic voting. Yeah, but we need to see the technology, and the law requires that the parties sign off on it. Yes, we have to go and inspect it and be taken through it, and we sign off on it. And so the IEBC must at least float that tender as soon as possible. Secondly, I think for Parliament, there are some laws, reforms that have been pending in Parliament for so long. Hopefully, in this session, we will complete them, because it is. I was part of the Kofi Annan process for 4 years, 5 years actually. So we don't need law reform so soon. I mean, so close to elections. But other than the law reform processes, we also have court cases that have made certain rulings and decisions on how the election should be conducted. Though the decisions of those courts now need to be reflected in the laws. So there's a bit of work there. When I was chairing the Constitution Implementation Committee, we had agreed with IEBC on the roadmap to elections and how those reforms, what they were, and outstanding, blah, blah. But when I brought the civil society on board, I was quickly removed. But I want to tell them, we will now form another bigger coalition of parliamentarians and civil society to ensure free and fair elections. But IEBC has to come and up its game, make sure we have no delays. Yes, otherwise there'll be a crisis.
When you talk about IEBC as is, you just have to look at the by-elections that IEBC has held. So there is the by-elections from Olkalau, there Malava, we have the one in Magarini, the one Kasipul, and that then forms the basis upon which anyone can judge IEBC of their performance. And by-election after by-election, there have been issues, Kenyans have died, there have been electoral malpractice. But even while at it then, you have to look at IEBC as an institution and the power that it has and other supporting agencies. So that would be the police as well, the EACC, the ODPP in prosecuting the matter. And one asks the question, if that is the yardstick within which we are judging IEBC, many are saying, hey, kidogo, it's tricky as you approach 2027. Between now and 2027, what must IEBC do to regain trust from Kenyans that it's able to deliver that election as prescribed by the Constitution?
Actually, when I first engaged IEBC as chair of Constitutional Implementation and Oversight Committee, I told them that you have come into office with very low public trust. People don't trust you. But we are willing to work with you and support you, and you build that trust. IEBC, again, I remember when they were launching the electoral plan a few weeks ago, the Chief Justice was there, and she told them, you have the power to do certain things.
Yes.
Exercise your power. Like the issue of violence. IEBC is not raining on people who bring violence to elections. It is pussyfooting about it. They must act. They must act and act decisively. Even disqualify candidates who engage in violence. They should be disqualified. Yeah, you remember Kasipul Kabondo? There was a lot of violence.
Yep.
In fact, candidates' vehicles were attacked. All sorts of things. People were attacked. It should not be like that. And IEBC, I think, with the by-elections that have been conducted, I think in Malava and Mbere, there was rigging, obviously. But IEBC, either they did not detect it or they were not aware. My understanding is that in Malava, there were certain polling stations where people were chased out and vote stuffing took place outside the biometric system. In Mbere, because that election normally is won or lost by hundreds of votes, that's the tradition, there was violence in a few polling stations. And that is why they won by 400 votes. Yeah, but we didn't see IEBC take any action or do an audit or say, okay, we've learned these lessons or we will do it. But now you see, in Olkalau, the people were so strong. Yeah, they actually helped IEBC more than the police to deliver a clean election. Yeah, but we want to support IEBC because it's the only IEBC we have. Yeah, so we want to support it. Yeah, but they have to up their game. They must keep timelines. And they must exercise the powers that they have to deal with electoral malpractices.
Right.
Yeah.
So this weekend, as is different from other rallies that have been held or, public engagements, there were no incidences of violence. At least there were no reports of incidences of violence. We didn't see that. Why? I mean, it's crazy that we would ask why. It's almost as though it's expected now that something like that would happen. And I want to link it to a reference that you've just made. The Kofi Annan Peace Accord that you worked on, his foundation, just a couple of weeks ago, talked about the fact that Kenya is likely to 84% to witness violence in the next election that could be akin to, if not worse, than that happened in 2007, 2008. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, actually, we've had 2 weekends of peace. We were in Taita Taveta. We had 3 big rallies in Mwatate, Undanyi, and Voi. No incidents. Very peaceful, no incidents. Trans Nzoia, very peaceful, very good. Bungoma, the same. Though, when we were in Chwele, we got intelligence that some youths had been strategically placed along the road to try and stone our convoy. But we didn't see them. We did send a team to scout, but they were not seen. So we also had a peaceful weekend in Western Kenya. And I hope when we go to Homa Bay, it will be the same.
Yeah.
Yes. So that my community is just not profiled as the only violent community. So that's why I've called out the leaders in Homa Bay. When we come, please don't plan violence. Yes, we want to come in peace, talk to our people, and live in peace. The likelihood of violence is there because the government and those who support this broad-based government are openly saying, even if they lose, they will not leave office. So what does that mean? Of course, Kenyans will resist. Yes, Kenyans will not accept such a thing. It will not happen. So, violence is also used to suppress voter turnout. They try. Actually, when I spoke to His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua after Olkalau, he told me the turnout in Olkalau would have been much higher. Most people voted between 6 and midday. Then there was now violence. These people are going around shooting, and that suppressed the turnout. That's what he told me about that election. So it is also a tool, and even the threat of it to discourage people from showing up. What I want to tell Kenyans, this is your country. This is your country. Come out and vote. And anybody in government who thinks they can use violence against the people, 55 million people against 100,000 policemen, you must be joking. Yeah. So people will protect the vote at the polling station, and we want the law followed. Final decision is at the polling station. Votes counted, put out on the door. We take pictures. Our agents show us pictures. We add it up. We say, according to our projections, these are the results. We finish it. And we are still not sure what IEBC will do because of legal questions. You know, we've always had this thing of BOMAS.
BOMAS, yes.
BOMAS has legal questions around it. Yeah, because the law simply says the chairman shall announce.
Yes.
He's not the returning officer. Yeah, so we don't know where IEBC will be to make that announcement. But I think the results will have come out even before he announces. Yes.
I mean, Caroli, you raised something that is very critical, especially when it comes to the presidential vote. But let me just go back a little bit. When you see violence that is being sponsored allegedly by the state here, one asks the question, what's the fear? Because campaigns are based off how I can convince you, based off the agenda that I have, and if it's better than you, then Mwananchi has the right to vote for me. If you have better ideas than mine, convince the Mwananchi and they will vote for you. So what's the fear when you see violence that is discouraging others from taking their message to the people? Is it fear because they do not have a better agenda? Is it fear because they know they have lost the ground? And what do they aim to achieve with all that?
You know, there are two sides to what you have asked.
Yeah.
One is people use violence in politics. Yeah. Like when we started, remember everywhere we went, we were tear gassed, we were shot at, we were stoned, so that we give up. In other words, they want to stall you. Yeah. They want to stop you from engaging with the people, so that you can't pass your message. So it is only their message that is heard. They want to mute your voice. That's why they use violence against us. You see, whenever Orengo goes to Homa Bay, twice he has been stoned. And that is organized by the local ODM leadership there. The reason is they don't want people of Homa Bay to listen to our party leader Orengo. Yeah, they don't want that. So that is one aspect of it. Yeah. The other one is the government knows they have lost, but there is a sense of entitlement. So if you study dictatorships and governments that have lost legitimacy, but feel that they are still entitled, they always resort to violence to perpetuate themselves. Yeah. So they know very well, okay, we've lost. If they were democratic, they'll accept their fate, say we will do the next 1 year, go to elections, lose and go home and be opposition. But they are not democratic in their minds. Yeah, they are dictators in their minds. They think those offices belong to them. Especially the half-educated people you see around President Ruto, the way they talk, the political loudmouths. Yeah, because they don't understand these things. To them, we take power by a machete. Power must be taken. You hear people saying that. It is like leaders who tell you, oh, politics is about self-interest. Politics is not about self-interest. Politics is about the greatest good for the greatest number. They don't understand it. But that is, sense of entitlement that they have. So they'll talk about violence, but it will not deter Kenyans. I mean, do you know how many people during the Mau Mau insurgency died? You'll be shocked. The white guys who died were very few. There were less than, I think, 100. But the Africans were thousands. And we still fought. We will fight. Yeah, we will fight if they bring violence. We will not be cowed. We will not hide in our homes. We will not stop going to our rallies. We will keep going. Yeah, we will keep going.
You mentioned about the presidential announcement where then the IEBC chair announces, but that the results are at the polling station. The BOMAS question still remains. But even while at that, Caroli, Correct us, because many are saying after the election, the counting starts with the presidential vote first, right?
Yes.
That means by the time we're getting to the member of parliament or the governor, we ought to have known who the president is. So with knowing that right now, and also the Bomas question being there, and everybody investing to ensure that they have deployed enough personnel so that they can even call the election, how is that settling with the government? How is that settling with the IEBC, knowing very well that any Kenyan can call the election based off what the law says and where the presidential results are gotten?
Yeah, you see, they were threatening people that if you announce the results, it's a crime, all that. It's not announcing the results.
Yes.
It is saying, I've collected, and these are my tallies. That is not a crime. That is, anybody can do that. After all, there's a public portal of those results.
Yes.
You can't have a public portal and you are told you can't add up the numbers in the public portal. You see, what happened in 2007, that's when I realized how, because we were together with my Miguna, James Orengo, and a friend of mine called Mbuta. We went to IEBC at KICC. And we discovered what was going on there, because everything was manual. What you are saying is correct. The first count is presidential vote between 6 and 7. By 7 p.m., those results are all in each stream of a polling station.
Yes.
So the people at that time with the capacity to know that is the administration through National Intelligence Service, because they'll have a chief, they'll have an intelligence officer who within the constituency can put people in every stream and say by 7, send me the results in your stream. So they quickly add that thing. By midnight, they have the entire picture of the nation. And they realize, oh, the president has lost, so we need to fix this. I realized this in 2007. Because Raila was so far ahead, we had the numbers. Then suddenly things started changing. What they do, once they have the numbers, in 2007, they started looking at the voter register. Juja had 105,000 registered voters, but only 75,000 had voted. So once that was counted, they knew they had 30,000. They then started adding it. There was some constituency in Nyandarua, Molo. You remember even the returning officer from Molo saying, these are not the results, I'm the returning officer. So it became just aware, okay, we can add this. They take even some MPs who had won lost that way, because when they topped up the presidential vote, they topped to the wrong MP because they have to match.
They have to match, yes.
So, but we've cured that to a very large extent through the electoral reforms we did under Kofi Annan, with now biometrics, the KIMS kits and the rest of them. But still, today the risk we run, there are two risks we run. What is happening now? There's no transparency on the issuance of ID cards. I have actually a bill coming up tomorrow in Parliament, second reading, that people be given ID cards when they turn 18 for free in schools. But what is happening now, there is underground registration of voters by the administration.
Of whom?
Going on as we speak. Coordinated by the office of the president. Going around. It is not open to everybody. They are targeting what they perceive as their strongholds, where they are doing the registration. And MPs are being given money to go and facilitate that registration. The risk there, they could be registering underage people, giving them IDs. Yes? So as to prop up the numbers. Yes. It is not impossible to detect, because we know there's a pattern of voter growth. That if there's a sharp bump, you can clearly tell it is an outlier. But they are doing it. So that is one risk we are running. There could be a scheme to staff up the numbers. You know, the IEBC data is more cleaner because it is based on biometrics. The IEBC voter data. The ID database is not very clean. And it is being done in a skewed manner. So that is one risk. The other risk people must understand in elections is when you don't have agents at the counting hall, at the stream. Because the numbers could all be correct, but the final entry in that famous form is manual. So anybody can enter any number there. They can switch the numbers if you don't have agents or if people conspire. If this was a polling station, you have 400 votes, I have 200. But I don't have an agent here.
There's nobody to verify.
Yes, you are the only one with an agent. You know, when they're entering, you can even still take 100 from me and say, yeah, you got 500. Eh?
But these are serious, critical issues that you
because
bring
it is
up.
manual. Yeah, so people have to be. You must have agents in that room to make sure what is in the KIMS kit is reflected on the forms when the entry is made manually. Yeah, and that is a mistake I think those around Baba did last election. Baba had no agents anywhere. He had no agents, not even in Bondo, not even in Kibra. Yes, and how they allowed that to happen, I do not know. Yeah, because then the numbers the integrity can be there in the KIMS kits, but the manual entries are manipulated. Yeah.
Even as you wrap this up, Caroli, are you hopeful? The people of Kenya are hopeful. That's why they keep coming out. That's why they keep saying, well, what's next? Because there's something that still resides in the heart of many who say, okay, well, maybe. Are you hopeful that, you know, the change that you're looking at? Because the hope comes from where you see things are not going right and you think, okay, there's a possibility that it can. And the process through which that happens is a lot of what we've discussed today. But are you hopeful that it will actually bear the fruit from the seed that has been sown?
You know, for me, at a personal level, I feel very bad that as people of the black race, as Africans, we rarely have a functioning, proper country. You know, around the world. We have some Caribbean islands that are doing very well economically, properly managed. This is it. People must see this in a broader sense. We are Africans. Surely we must organize our affairs. We can't have countries that are all dysfunctional, that are ridden with corruption, that are not stable. You know, it is a very fundamental question as a race. So, and we can't lose hope. We can't lose hope. You see, one of the mistakes I see President Ruto make is when he gives us a long list of brick and mortar that he's building, a market, these things, roads, all those things. That does not make a country great. South Africa, under apartheid, when the Africans were sat down on, had the best roads, had the best airports, had the best ports. That was in South Africa. Hitler, Germany, Autobahns, Hugo Boss, fashion, they were leading. Yeah, BMW, from aircraft to machines. It had the best technology. But they killed 6 million Jews. They brought down the world peace. So that is why I'm saying they don't know what they are doing. Great nations are not built with those things. Great nations are built on values. Yeah. So I'm hopeful that Africans, because we can't lose hope, that at least Kenya, you know, when I was a young state council and I used to do a lot of negotiations with the World Bank and IMF, they used to tell me, I remember Wolfenson, then the World Bank president, told me, Caroli, there are countries in Africa that must succeed. Zimbabwe was one of them, it has collapsed. Kenya was another, we are struggling. Ghana was the other. We are still, these countries must succeed so that we pull the others. And they put a lot of effort. But then we keep messing it up with our bad politics. So we can't give up. Each generation must pull its weight. Yeah, and hopefully this election, because the people want change, the leaders will not let them down. I hope so. I hope so. And anybody who wants to be selfish and thinks, okay, if I'm not the president, I'll go and run to split the vote, I think Kenyans will give them a very rude answer. Thank you.
Caroli Omondi is the Member of Parliament for Super South constituency, has been here with us for 2 hours this morning. Thank you for joining us in this conversation and looking forward to the reality of some of the things that you say this morning coming to be.
Thank you very much. Let me leave. I have a meeting with Parliamentary Committee on sugar importation.
There we go.
This is the Situation Room